So, if you didn't know, I took a little bit of a break from Phantom Forces content creation. I might have over dramatized it, saying, hey, this is my last video, but I really needed a break from it because there are just too many things wrong with Phantom Forces, and I wanna address them because I feel like it just isn't talked about enough. You guys are probably thinking, oh, he's gonna talk about hacking, he's gonna talk about all that kind of stuff. No, I don't I don't mind the hacking because every single first-person shooter game out there right now, it has a hacker. Because there's always going to be a way. Now, could Roblox fix their system, make it a little bit harder to hack? Yes, but will there always be hackers? Obviously. I could really care less about that. What I really care about is mainly the community and what Silas's true intentions are behind the game. Let's take the community for an example. I don't think I have ever had a worse community to be in. Anyways, if you take like other Roblox games like Arsenal or Bad Business, nobody's toxic there. I've played both games for a little bit now. I don't see anybody being mean. I mean, there's hackers obviously, but they're not as potent. I feel like it's just way too toxic a community to where people just feel like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go hack, ruin people's days, everything like that, because it's just so easy. I feel like I can't just get into a lobby and have fun without seeing that chat below. Someone's just ranting about something. It's like, oh my god, you're sitting in the back, you're doing nothing, you're scum of the earth. Like, people are just trying to play their games. I've never really understood that aspect of toxicity in games. People are just trying to play. Now, are some playstyles not, your favorite? Sure. I mean, we all have our own opinions, but it's the fact of how people voice it. I was just in a game, for example, where someone was using an AUG 3 Para. It's a really good gun. It's a really good gun. And for some reason, a couple people just couldn't get off their backs. Just like, hey, yeah, wow, you're using an Oscar setup. Like, no. Content creators don't own setups. They don't. And even if content creators say they do own setups, they don't. I could care less about their opinions. Like the Honey Badger Oscar setup that everyone used for a while, it wasn't his setup. He just popularized it. He brought it into the light to show that, hey, this is a good setup. It's not an Oscar setup. It's just a good setup for the Honey Badger. And people were throwing a fit in game chat about it. It's like, bro, why don't you actually just go use fun guns for once? It's like, if he's using it, he's having fun. You don't use a gun that you don't like. That doesn't make sense to me. Just because people want to have fun in the game doesn't necessarily mean that they're copying something. Like, people play video games to have fun. They don't do it because they feel obligated to. They don't do it because, oh, this dude says I have to play video games. No, they do it in their own free will. They do it because they enjoy it. So why try and pinpoint why people play video games? Just, it's a broad spectrum of having fun. Don't do it because, oh, you're playing video games and you're using this setup, you're using this, or just something like that. Just let people have fun. And the Phantom Force community just seems to not really get that subject. They seem that they always have to find something to complain about, and yet, what does complaining fix? It doesn't fix anything, does it? So it literally makes no sense for people to complain about setups, complain about really anything in the game. Are there things Styles could fix? Yes, plenty of things. I'm gonna get into that later. But right now, the game is in a good stage. They brought the T-Break in the X-Ring, which was huge. I actually loved that update, and it's because it got rid of the meta. I mean, obviously, there's still meta guns, but it brought so many new guns to the light to where it diversified it. Everyone was using either an HK416 with a 300 blackout conversion and a long barrel Kosaku sight. Like, that was the setup to use. Do people still use it? Yes. But now I'm seeing like G36s, Chris Vectors. Like, I'm seeing guns that were never really used because they weren't deemed meta. Like, I'm sorry if you can't use guns for fun because people are so stuck in the mind of, I have to use this person's setup when nobody can own a setup. It makes no sense to me. But now that the T-Break and X-Ring are here, it brought so many new guns. Like, people are having fun with guns for once. Snipers, those are a whole different story. Those needs buff beyond buffing. Like, they've nerfed, every game has nerfed snipers to the ground to the point where snipers are already at a disadvantage because they have one shot, and then they either have to reload or wait for the gun to be able to fire again, and they just nerf them. And so it's to the point where people don't want to use snipers anymore, except when they're sitting in the back, and that makes people mad. Now, Stylus fixing the game, on the other hand, they're going about it the wrong way, in my opinion. They're fixing some things that need to be addressed, but they're working on stuff that shouldn't be worked on. For example, in the test place, there's a new UI system. We don't really need that. We're fine with the things we have right now. I would rather have more gun balancing, better spawns, better being able to spawn on people, better spotting systems. Like, there's so much more that could be fixed. Now, people aren't going to notice that as much, no. But they're focusing on attention. They want people to say, oh my god, they did this. Rather than people just not really noticing, but they're having more fun in the game. Because, I mean, there's going to be the players out there, there's going to be the content creators that are going to bring to light these new changes. Like, let's say we get spawns fixed. Well, guess what? That's going to bring some people back to playing the game because they hated the spawns. That's going to make people want to play more. They go for looks, which is what most video game companies do, unfortunately. But if they focused on game physics rather than looks, I feel like Phantom Forces would take off insanely. They're working on spawns a little bit in the test place. They're working on grenades, which I'm 100%, like, I love the new grenade fixes. They've made it more realistic. In some ways, they're working with glass. Like, that makes the game more realistic. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see the fact that now sites are categorized based off of, does it have a red dot? Is it miscellaneous? Like, no. I want to be able to have fun playing the game, not being able to look at the game and say, wow, this is pretty cool. It's like taking a bite into a donut. You're just like, oh my god, it's a donut. It's so cool. It looks so good. I just want to take a bite. You take a bite and there's broccoli in there, bro. Like, just because it looks good doesn't mean it is good. There's some games out there, Battlefield 2042, great graphics, horrible gameplay physics. Like, if they spent even just a slight bit more time fixing the game rather than making it look good, Phantom Forces would be such an insane game. And I appreciate y'all watching.